The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks Podcast Network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Turnbuckle
Tabloid.
Yeah. Yo, what's going on? This is Lio Rush, and you are now listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
But you can call me Kit. When I am cruising the streets and fighting crime, I'm also listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Give me that fucking mic! Turnbuckle Tabloid, cutting a promo. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, cutting a promo this week, and we're doing it again twofold. First half, we'll be discussing the Elimination Chamber, what occurred, what happened, our thoughts, our opinions. And secondly, we'll be going into my favorite time of year. Almost Mike stopping in to help me discuss our friend. Well, not really my friend. I actually have a hate relationship with this person, but to everybody else, he's Uncle Dave, Wrestling Observer Awards. Am I right?
Don't you mean a love-hate relationship?
No, it's hate, because I hate him and I hate him even more every year. So,
I mean, don't you love it when he gets shit wrong and everybody yells at him?
No, I really don't, because I would like for, you see, like I've mentioned to people in the past, like I'm not new to this Meltzer shit, you know, as like people, you know, new people to the internet and socials are with him. I've heard of Meltzer since the 90s. Like that's how far back I go with the Observer and stuff like that. I did, you know, when the interwebs were first starting, I never got the Observer itself, but you know, I would look at Dirt, and then like when the internet was happening, I would look at wrestling stuff, and his name would always come up, and I saw his transitioning through the years of what his look for wrestling was, and he's always a clout chaser. He always was riding the waves of what he thought was the new thing. And when WWE became the only monopoly that controlled wrestling for a time being, then all of a sudden he would bash them, and all of a sudden he wanted to jump into UFC. And it's like, well, when you wanted to do that? Finally, you know, he broke through when AEW broke through. He had a new fan base to fucking jump on and ride the wave with. When I first started working with Rageworks, and I would write articles for the website for them, people would be like, "Wow, like you know, your take on indie wrestling or wrestling as a whole, it's almost Meltzer-like." I'll be like, "Don't ever fucking compare me to that dickhead." I couldn't stand it. Him in general, and even to this day, when I found out that like what Cornette's thoughts about him was, and then you hear other people's thoughts about him as well, I was like, oh, I thought I was the only one because everybody else loved him. But I really hate that he's such an old way of thinking when it comes to certain aspects of wrestling. But when there's a shiny new toy in the building, ooh, I gotta play with that.
I don't know. I've always been indifferent about him, but it's always so funny that when I post something about him on the group page, the first thing is people usually get like, "Why do you keep posting shit about him?" And that's not the. And when I post things about him or whatever he says, it's not like I'm saying I agree with a lot of things he's saying. I'm just sharing it for the sake of it's wrestling related to the topic. If I agree with him, then I say it. If I disagree with him, then I say it. I just share all of the stuff that's anything wrestling related to the group page, just to spark discussion on our page. That's it.
Yeah, no, I never have any issues. Yeah, I never have any issues with it.
Never showing any favoritism.
Right.
Like, people always go, "Oh, you should be sharing from this one." I'll share whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, no, I never have any issues with it. That's why I never say anything about it because
no, but I'm just saying because I get DMs from most people and the comments on the group page. I had suspend one person for outright just calling me a dumbass. I'm like, all right, you just got yourself suspended, sir.
Yeah, no.
I was like, wow, that's really taking it too far. But anyway,
I wouldn't even have done that. Like, I wouldn't even care. Like, so what? All right, whatever. Just at the same time,
I just did because I said, oh, suspend? That sounds funny.
Nah, I wouldn't even like it because at the end of the day, like, you know, like you said, it's you could find what's interesting and what's his thoughts on things, and to be clear, like I said, it's media, it's journalism. Like I told you the other day, it's like I don't want any censorship, unless it's something that's very outlandishly rude and disrespectful that I could take because that's that's not tolerable. But anything that has to do with like journalism and such like that, it's free press, whatever. Let's say.
And after that, what's special about this show is that we're opinionated. If anything comes out, we speculate on it. When was the last time me or you ever said that this was a thing? Like when was the last time we ever reported anything?
Oh, never.
Or
even like even with the Rageworks, like the boss Rich, he's never censored me. I've actually had to do self-censoring on here. So, but even that, I believe I only had to self-censor myself one time, and that was when the pandemic started, and I had a very different outlook on it until I started working through it and living through it. That I was like, no, I can't air a certain segment, and I cut it out the whole show. So,
right.
Yeah. So other than that, no, like.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get that off my chest because not for nothing I've been seeing and dealing with it for a little while. Not for nothing, I always say to people, if you don't agree with anything that we share on the post, just don't say anything. Don't try and start anything. That's my only thing I want.
Well,
that's the last thing we'll say about it.
It's all the trolling aspect of it, and you know what? It's like, okay, if you want to troll, that's fine.
Doesn't feel like trolling, and it's whatever.
But once again, it's like I don't have to entertain it. Like I just
right.
Like, now look at it and be like, all right. Sometimes I just stop conversations that way, and I'd be like, all right, whatever. So,
but anyway,
with that being said, leading into Elimination Chamber.
Okay, Chamber first.
What do you got on the what do we have on the card? First of all, we were given a surprise match on the pre-show. We had gotten, which by the way, I'm looking at it right now. Wasn't it funny seeing Kevin Owens walk in the building with a koala bear?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not really surprised about that, considering how much he's pro animals. So it made sense.
Well, he's considered. Well, he calls himself like a panda bear or something like that. Anyways, all right.
Yeah, I think he had like a shirt, like the Panda Express logo.
Yeah, he's always been like that kind of I think even since like his ROH days, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, but I loved when he showed up and I think it was Sam Morales was like, "Wait, is that a koala?" Like he was so thrown off, and then there's like, "Well, there's Drew, not with the koala."
Right.
But yeah, but on the kickoff show, they did have a women's tag team title match, and from what I read and heard, I didn't see it. I didn't wake up for that. So
okay. So before we go,
it was fine.
So let's go into that. So we had already known previously from the night before that the Elimination Chamber stateside was going to be 5 o'clock in the morning. I had said to myself, depending
for us here in New York City.
Yeah. Well, yeah, East Coast side.
Right.
I said for myself, knowing how my sleep pattern is, I'll most likely be up at that time because I'll get to the house after I'm hanging out and such, and I'll just crash, and then I'll just have this random wake up, and I'll go and most likely put it on. I got up at 4:40. I'm going to say 4:45, 4:46 around that time in the morning. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. I think I'm up. I think I'm awake. And I went to go grab for my remote control, fell right back out. I was like, well, that's done. But I did get up at I did get up 9 a.m. and I stayed off the phone, didn't watch anything. Usually I don't care about spoilers, but like for this time, I was just like, let me just watch it with clear eyes so I don't have to get any different opinions from anybody. And I watched it through and through. Like I said, surprised by the opening match. We had the Kabuki Warriors versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, which they threw Indy Hartwell a bone because she's from the region.
Nice of them to do that.
I was surprised to see how before the match, you know, I'll talk about the match. I was surprised to see that I recently shared the video of Logan Paul trying to break the NXT PC records.
Right. She was like top 2, wasn't she? For the women?
And a lot of their in their contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one that shocked us more was the Ivar leaping.
Yeah, all of us were like, wait, Ivar was like, it was like Montez and then Ivar.
Like, what?
I think it was for like the long distance jump, whatever the fuck it was called.
The broad jump. Yeah. I was like, really? Yeah. So,
did Indy get a good reaction in her hometown?
Yeah.
Home country?
Yeah. You know, the country woman was there and such. For the match itself, it wasn't a bad match. I actually think that
Asuka's the best wrestler. Kyrie's solid. Candice is solid. Indy's still coming along. So
yeah, and through it all, it was still one of those matches that would grab you in. And we also got a precursor to what's going down later on with the with what's happening with Dakota Kai as well. So there's some stuff going on.
Oh, right.
So other than that, the pre-show was fine. The opening match, Kabuki Warriors get the win there, and which will lead us to the first match of the night.
Yeah, we opened with the 6-woman Elimination Chamber match. Winner challenges for the women's world title. We had Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez. It was funny too because at the whatever they called it, the press event, like the day before, they Triple H called her Raquel Gonzalez by accident, but I chalked it up to maybe just switching the names now. He just.
Right.
They were just very tired from the plane ride. But yeah. But with Raquel in her case though, her MCAS flared up during the match, and I'm surprised. I'm happy she went through with it. And I can only imagine how she feels about it. Because did she post a video of remember because we were talking about it a couple of months ago? You even said you might have thought you had it, but
no, I still think I do. As a matter of fact, I'm getting it checked out next week. I'm gonna get some tests done about it because it's a allergenic, a systematic virus that is, and it deals with not only what foods you eat, it also deals with temperature and climate of the body as well. So like for me, I've been getting like the kind of hers is from images that we've been seeing is severe. Mine, from what I believe that I have, I don't think it's not as severe, but I do get the markings on the body. I have the same kind of symptoms that she has. So I've been trying to get something set up with getting it fully checked out. But yeah, like
images showed that she flares very fast around the face, around the neck, in her back.
You know what I would do if I were her? And not even to say to hide it, but to use it as a gimmick and embrace it and probably even move forward with tying in her heritage and her culture. I will go with a lucha mask. I would wrestle under wrestle under a lucha mask. I would think that I'm looking at I'm gonna show the images now. She just walked out and you could see that it started like puffing, her face is puffing up. Yeah. But like I said, that's
it was an open air stadium, so definitely like it was definitely hitting her face.
Like I said, there's a lot that goes into play with it. Like, you know, I've noticed because I've been doing research for it. Like sometimes it's the cold, even stress flares it up as well. So so it's gonna be tough. But I would embrace like a lucha mask, even if it's not a full cover mask, not like a full hood, but like a mask, and use it like you know, like for special events or something like that. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, also like she's one of the more unique looking women on the roster, where she's big and tall. Where if you put a mask on her, she look more intimidating. Right. But that's up to her if she chooses to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's because she's like she's uncomfortable with showing that her flare ups or she's trying to hide. I would just take it as a full gimmick that it'll be cool to use.
Yeah. But so as far as this match goes, this was really a showing out party for Tiffany Stratton. Let's be real here. As soon as she entered the match, she went nuts. Would you say, Jay, she probably has the best handspring elbow in the business right now?
Yeah, that's it. She's upgraded herself leaps and bounds month to month, and I think that like you said, the investment that the WWE has put on her has been working out for the benefit. This is why I told people before, Monet is not needed. They're stacked. They are stacked over there. It's fine. Hell, I'll even give another shout out to Naomi. And I know Wrestling Ream is going to be like, what? What did you just? Yes, I'm going to say Naomi showed out as well today, man. Like that was actually a nice foray for her to be in for the Elimination Chamber. And she looked solid in there as well. Yeah.
As far as the Tiffany goes, I think her background was an Olympic gymnast.
Yeah.
So you can see her there. But the swanton she took off the top of the pond of the girls, Jesus Christ. She could have died.
But they caught her beautifully as well. That was a great spot for them. Listen, all in all, showcase wise with the women's match, Elimination Chamber, just a heads up down the line. It's like, if they continue to show this kind of work and ethic, you may actually hear me say from here on out that they're not bathroom break anymore. It's like, nah, but seriously,
especially the women they put in this match where they showed a lot of work rate. I'll say at the end when they were doing like the fast, like when it came down to the final three, it was like a bit slow. But you know what? The whole match was fine altogether.
Hell, Liv Morgan runs the ropes like you're supposed to run the ropes.
I remember you and Matt used to laugh your asses off. What the fuck is she doing?
Oh, I saw her in this match, and I said, she's hitting the ropes the right way. She's hitting the turnbuckles the right way. Good for you, girl.
Yeah. She's one of those massive improvements from her early days in NXT.
But all in all, the match itself, I was happy with. No woman here did not look bad at all.
Not at all.
Although they
went the predictable route, which was fine.
Yeah, to most it was a predictable finish, but I was not displeased with it. I was fine with it, and at the same time, even with the Liv roll up on Bianca to set up the Becky Lynch win was fine. But there's a lot of
I was shocked by that. I thought it was going to be like the opposite way. I thought it would be like Becky would win by pinning Bianca, but it was her beating Liv.
Liv will get the underdog story after Mania. She's going to get her come up and come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know with Tiffany Stratton, what's going on with her and her upswing. I think that there's a lot of potential there to make that division even bigger than what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have next up?
Then we had the Undisputed Tag Team title match, Judgment Day against the New Catch Republic. I loved this match a lot. This was very well paced, very great action altogether. Dominic Mysterio got the most heat out of anybody on this show, and Logan Paul was the semi-main event. But as soon as this kid grabbed the microphone and did the Judgment Day introduction, they were not. The best is when they don't let him speak. They boo him out the building.
Yeah.
But there was one point during the match where it was reported that when the screen blacked out, was because the fans were throwing up the middle fingers at him. So I was watching live. I was like, "What just happened? Did the feed cut out?"
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
I have to say, I'm in the same boat with you. I think I might have said that this would have been match of the night. I think I did. That it had to build
this is the best Judgment Day tag team defense so far.
Right. And it's so crazy how it plays out because New Catch is such the smaller looking tag team.
Right.
It didn't look like that on paper when you watch the match and how the technical style of New Catch works. I thought that Finn going in and still being the pro that he is and able to work with these guys, because we've probably worked with them for years on out, played a major part with understanding the team that he's with, the guys that he's with. Finn knows Dunn and Bate for years, so the chemistry's there. But the big element was the big man himself, Damian Priest. I mean, he not only showed his prowess and being the big man in there as well, but he was also able to tell the story that he could be taken down, which was great on that end.
Yeah,
but Dominic,
he keeps improving too, which is great because he has that Money in the Bank briefcase, and a lot of people expect him to be world champion, which I kind of hope he does cash in successfully. But you could tell that this guy is bred to be like the next type of Kane, Undertaker, big man type of character.
But Dominic, oh my God. I mean, there's a reason why I've grown to love this kid after I got nervous on how they were going to make the transition to pull him away from Ray. And wow, by leaps and bounds.
Easy.
Yeah.
It was pretty much easy. All he did was clothesline his dad, kick him in the dick, and then just join Judgment Day. And the boos were instant.
But not only
he didn't have to say a word.
Just to embrace the heeldom, to say, I want to thank my father for making me who I am. Thank you, Eddie. My God, it's so. And he even like I said, just the look, the mullet, the gimmick of just the prowess, the way that he walks around.
He has Latino.
Yeah, it's so fucking great, man. I love it. I love that he gets the heat it is, and he embraces it. I love it.
And remember, going into the show, like we said in the predictions, he was supposed to go against Brock,
right,
in a singles match.
But that's what I say. I this kid is I hope not to see any change in this. I want him to continue to go because, WWE early on would pipe in the boos and such like that, but now it's just
not anymore.
It's natural, yeah.
I mean, as far as WrestleMania is around the corner, I don't see him in a WrestleMania spot, unfortunately, this year. So, I mean, he's doing what he's doing because it's working. But Judgment Day retain, and overall, like I said before, I thought this was the best Judgment Day defense they've had so far.
Right.
But next up, we had the Grayson Waller effect. We had Grayson Waller do a shoey with UFC fighter who I do not know. So, I mean, no disrespect to him, but with current day UFC, I do not know any of the current fighters. So, I mean, I get you can blame me for it or blame UFC, whatever you want to blame. But I mean, let's be real here. They don't have a lot of major stars in UFC anymore, except for Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor now. They're bringing back.
Yeah, it's
UFC's still popular. It's just they're still gonna carry on.
Yeah,
They're not going to be out of business anytime soon. But so we have the Grayson Waller effect. We have Austin Theory here as well, kind of be in the background of the whole segment. But we had Seth Rollins and Cody, and the point taken out of the segment was that Cody challenged The Rock to a singles match between now and WrestleMania.
Right.
They did not say I challenge you for night one or anything like that, but flat out just challenged The Rock.
Interesting. Well, first of all, I have to say this. I got up during the opening of the segment, went and made something to eat, went to the bathroom.
Segment was still going.
No, this is the introductions of everybody.
Oh yeah, they took their sweet ass times.
Oh my goodness. I think they played Cody's intro twice.
Yes. Grayson Waller's legit. Waller's theme looped 3 times, Rollins looped 5 times, and Cody looped 3 times.
Yeah.
That's how long just the intros took.
Yeah, I was like, really? I'm telling you, I went. I fried
for
an egg.
A talk show segment.
I fried an egg. I made some sausage with it. Went to the bathroom. Came back. What the check was going. There goes our guy Ty doing the shoey.
Yeah.
It was wow. Talk about milking a segment. Jesus. But
and this was in like hour 3.
Which, by the way, people were complaining like it was like what they said it was 60% wrestling, 40% advertisement for Australia.
I mean, let's be real here. They had 4 matches and they had a lot of time to waste.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. The women's chamber took like what, over 30 minutes, and the tag was about 15 to 20. This took about 30.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you
Right.
load up the card, like we always complain about what AEW does when they have 12, 15 matches on one card. And
Right.
then it's damn if you don't when you have 4 matches, but you extend it. People are not gonna it's like, would you pay to be at something like this? They're happy to just be there because and I'll say this for every promotion. You're there, you're happy to be there. Me, I've come to the realization that I don't see me doing a lot of arenas anymore. Like I'm kind of not pleased that I'm not going to Mania, but at the same time I'm going, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine because I know how much of a hassle that shit is. And you know, a lot of stuff I sit there and say, you know what? I'm comfortable at home watching this. I don't need to watch it. I'm right with this. So, but with that being said, the Grayson Waller effect, this would have been me going to concession stands, doing a shoey myself situation.
We also had Rollins say that this week he gets his doctor's clearance, so he will be good for WrestleMania. So
here comes a 30-minute Cody entrance.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, what did we really take out of this segment? We had Theory just do Rock lines, and then he gets disaster kicked and then curb stomped. And you know what the weird thing was too? They teased it on SmackDown where Roman talked to Grayson Waller about this talk show thing.
Mm.
I thought that was going to play more into it, but not really. I thought Solo or Jimmy were going to pop. At least it was Solo.
What bothers me also now is this day and age is that people are like, oh, they're burying Austin Theory. It's like, dude, you know how old he is? Like, the kid is still young. Like, he's got a whole career in front of him, barring injury. He's even smart enough to say that injured himself and Carmelo recently. That he said, yeah, I'm taking that out of my repertoire. I'm retiring it. He says it was too scary for me to figure out what could have happened. So he says, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. So
also, a guy his size should be doing that move,
right? So it's like, come on, like give them time. If in a few years, if they're gonna fucking, not put the rocket on his back soon enough, then you can have this discussion. But right now, Vince McMahon had to. It was when Vince packed him in with so much stuff. It was like, oh no, the new Roman Reigns, and now that, oh no, Triple H doesn't like him. I was like, shut up, just let it happen, let it play out.
But not for nothing, Jay. Let's be real here. when Vince was in charge, this dude was shoved down our throats. Now, I'm not saying that this guy, but I agree with you that he is a future star. But from a year ago, where he's challenging John Cena to a WrestleMania match, his stock has fallen.
Right.
It's fallen, and it's going to be a long way until he gets back up. But like you said, he's young enough where it could happen.
He'll find his way back. He'll get his way back in there.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much the segment. That was just them. By
the way, I'm looking at Grayson Waller, and he's another one that he's going to be a talent as well. Like in ring wise and such, he's a great heel. But every time I see him, he reminds me of Goat Boy from Saturday Night Live. He just has that like. Let me see if I'll find it for you. Oh my god! What the hell's his name? The comedian.
Chris Kattan was he Goat Boy?
Jim Brewer. That's his name. Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Yeah,
okay.
Jim Brewer. Yeah. The kid from the dude from Half Baked. Fully, man. Fully.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the segment was the segment, and we move on.
Let me ask you about Mr. Waller. Because I mean, when we talked about him when in a big review was like Stand Delivered, I remember this clearly because we were talking about like his heat in NXT, like will it translate to the main roster? And so far, it's worked. Like he's very talented, but when people see him, they just see another version of the Miz. Is that like is that disrespectful?
No. The kid, like I said, the kid is he's great. You know, he's awesome on the mic. He's great on the mic. He has
he's better in-ring wrestler than the Miz at this point. Right. He has more, like, he could do more than what the Miz is currently doing.
Right. But, you know, and like I said, it's another thing to where, look, there's going to be a passing of time where the old regime is going to have to go and move on. And the young upstarts are going to be taking over. And, you know, it's all about time and patience. We saw it, you know, resonate through the Attitude Era. We saw it going into the Ruthless Aggression era, especially in that era. That's where we saw the real big upswing from the youth making their push. Mm-hmm. It's all about making that, waiting your time. And not for nothing, you're making really good money. Just shut up and take it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it still amazes me to see how long Miz TV's lasted. And that's going to be that's the Grayson Waller effect is going to take its place.
Yeah. So we get the men's Elimination Chamber stepping up.
Yep, winner faces Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. We had Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight.
This man right here was my MVP of the fucking match, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I sat there watching him through this whole experience. Just him going into the ring, him just playing up to the crowd and everything. I said, Kevin Owens is my spirit animal. This is my guy. This is me on indie beer night. This is me.
Not for nothing, where like in AEW, I think our clear favorite is like Eddie Kingston because he comes off real and genuine.
Right.
That's what Kevin Owens is in WWE. Real and genuine because he just he knows what he's doing. He knows how to play to the crowd. Because when Logan Paul made his entrance and stared at him in the pod, and Kevin Owens was just banging his head on the plexiglass over and over and over again, and then you just have Logan look over. Be like Jesus Christ, what's his problem? But then later on, when I found out afterwards when Logan was doing it in his pod, it was even more funny.
Oh, he had the marker and he was drawing pictures of Kevin Owens and stuff like that. That's why when he threw him into the pod, I was like, "What the hell is that on the glass?" I was like, "What is that?"
Also, I looked at I saw Logan's arm. Like, why is there like a black marker on his arm? Like, what the hell happened? And then when I found out afterwards in this video of it, he's drawing devil horns on the glass. He said Kevin sucks. He drew a poorly drawn picture of Kevin. Like, this dude just gets it. And you know, people just hate him because the fact that he's a social media guy. But you know what? This guy comes in here, he gives it 150%.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really believe within probably in a year, he's gonna be if he still wants to do it, he's gonna be a face. People are gonna end up falling in love with him.
They're gonna give him the world title.
I don't know about that, but I know that the people are they're gonna love him. They are going to love him because
in the next 3 years, I'm calling it.
Wrestling fans appreciate the fact of the commitment that he's been putting to it, and how genuine it is with his assholeness, if that's how you were to put it. But yeah,
the two main spots Logan did was he got speared through a pod by Bobby Lashley,
right,
and then he did a diving crossbody onto Drew McIntyre off the top of a pod,
right.
This kid, I wanted to say this kid because he's like around my age, but this guy is out of his effing mind. So then we go through eliminations. Lashley gets eliminated first.
But then also, let me just show you quickly that Randy. You're looking at Randy, and Randy, Jesus. I think
when he stepped on top of Lashley's pod?
Yeah. I think maybe he's a year younger than me and such, but he looks fucking amazing. My man crush is still in effect for Randy. Jesus.
And also, too, if you think about it, too, when you see like Orton and Lashley, they're around the same age, too, in their mid-40s.
Yeah. Oh, well, black don't crack, so we know that shit. That ain't that.
I mean, our truth is the definition of it.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know.
Speaking of Mr. Truth, just to say this, he posted a video saying, "I'm here in Austria. Where's everybody at?"
Because my other man crush. Jesus, a bunch of beefy men going on in this match. By the way, bro, did you see the meat monster match that's happening?
We'll talk about that later when we get into AEW predictions. We'll go over that match. That match is just a joke, just at that point. But so we had this match. So we had the first elimination was Lashley. So then Lashley's taking his sweet ass time forever with the door open. And so I'm thinking, okay, time for an angle. As I say that, AJ Styles runs into the Elimination Chamber, beats the shit out of LA Knight with a chair, gives him the Styles Clash on the chair, and Drew covers him for the pin. So, boom. There's your WrestleMania match right there with Styles and Knight.
Someone says, Jesus Christ, the audacity of a man to fly all the way to Australia just to beat the shit out of LA Knight. This man has drive and determination.
Yeah.
Another highlight of the match was LA Knight banging Drew's head up against the pod, and at the same time Kevin Owens
pod specifically
punching the pod, the glass at the same time as his head is bashing.
And then you have Kevin Owens clapping.
Oh my goodness gracious. As I said, this man is my spirit animal, dog. I love it.
Yeah. So we had that major spot. So I mean, agreement, Styles and Knight for WrestleMania.
I might even say that we'll go a little further than that. I might even say that we might see a fatal four-way somewhere in there for the U.S. title.
Interesting. So we had that. We had Knight eliminated. That was with once he got eliminated, the Australia crowd got very pissed and just chanting bullshit.
Right.
So we were down to Drew, Logan, and Randy. So Logan does the crossbody onto Drew, and then he pulls out the brass knucks. But the camera zoomed in on Logan's face. He's like pumping his fist with the knucks ready to go. And then an RKO out of nowhere.
Oh, beautifully shot.
My God. Whoever replaced Kevin Dunn, great job. Because that was picture perfect.
Believe me, I'm not going to miss Bucky Beaver. I'm fine.
No.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
You know he would have cut to Randy Orton running.
Oh, yeah.
In the frame.
Exactly.
So we had Randy eliminate Logan Paul, and then Logan's still in the chamber, or no, he's about to roll out. So then we're down to Drew and Randy. Yeah, they're clapping. But so we're down to also at this point because Randy was selling his back because they're doing that, and everybody's speculating, oh, he's still hurt, but no, he's selling.
Yeah.
But we had counter from the Future Shock, then Randy hits an RKO, and then Logan out of nowhere hits him in the face with the Brass Knucks. And then we had Drew pin Randy for the 1-2-3, and Drew is on his way to WrestleMania.
Once again, predictable, but yet I'm not mad at it. I'm okay. I'm fine.
But also now looking towards Randy Orton versus Logan Paul.
That, like I said, I will not be surprised if we see a fatal 4-way for the United States title. I wouldn't mind to see Logan Paul, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. I would not be surprised for that.
Here's the only problem I have with that is that we just had it last month. It's just that you place Logan with Roman.
Right. Or let's get crazy and have a ladder match and have 6 guys involved in it. Let's get Kevin Owens, because he's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
And add Bobby in it. Fuck it. Let's just get that. Let's get it going. But
I think more than likely it's gonna be the clear direction will probably be Orton and Paul. And I have after we talked about the last match, I have Mania predictions just to go through it with you.
Right.
We'll agree or disagree on them because I jotted them down days before and I wanted to get your thoughts as well on them.
Right.
But as far as this chamber match goes, I thought great all around. I thought the RKO spot was probably the best one they've done so far. As far as like visually, you knew it was coming, but it was still great to see. And Logan Paul is still fantastic. But then just to see Drew, just like that shit-eating grin, like right now he's killing it. And this is a guy that's allegedly not signed after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I still believe that there's something that's gonna happen there where he's not going anywhere.
I kind of think that they're waiting till like Monday or the next couple of weeks on TV to play it up.
Right.
Because like at this point, I'm saying it. Like I don't know.
We'll
see.
Especially with there's so much more to go on with Punk and such. Like, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing else really to say about this. As for the 6 men in this match, all stars showed out.
Yeah. And finally, we get to close out the match. We get Nia Jax versus, of course, the hometown girl Rhea Ripley.
Honestly, it was probably the best Nia Jax match in her career.
I told you. I said it. I said Rhea was going to take care of her. And as a matter of fact, they both took care of each other.
Yes. I mean, and you had the easy spots where Nia was attacking the back, trying to make sure Rhea doesn't use all her strength. But, I mean, what was the spot? She did the superplex off the top rope where it looked like Rhea almost landed on her head.
Right.
I thought that was a little scary, but you know what? Rhea's the professional. She knows what she's doing. And then we have just see, like at that point when I saw the drawings, I was like, "Wait, this mother?" Like, because Logan went to his pod with his jacket on, so I'm thinking, does this guy have a marker on him?
No, I'm telling you, the best part, the door's about to open and Kevin is just standing there looking at him. He's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, because Logan was the last person to enter, so Kevin realized that he stood in front of the door, and then Logan was like, "Wait, no, don't open my door."
But I thought, kudos to Nia for Nia Jax for actually showcasing that she is played up what she's supposed to be, which is the big woman, the monster woman in the match. This is the showdown that we needed to see to show that although Rhea's supposed to be a heel, that she would have had to fight from under here as well. And Nia, like you said, it's probably her best match I've ever seen her in.
Yeah, and Nia is in the same category with Dominic, where it's just natural heat for both of them, where you just hate Nia Jax's guts.
Right.
Like you want to see her get her ass kicked, and then with Rhea making her entrance, like you can just tell, like she was soaking it all in. She was excited as fuck.
That pop, it's like
Unreal.
You get the hometown pop, but even just to know that it's a woman's main event and it's in your country and the reception that she got, it brings head standing, brings goosebumps up. It was great to see. Like you could tell, And Nia just sat there and let her soak it all in as a great, as a great competitor and a great performer.
Right. She stayed calm too, which in most situations, the other person would probably be like, "Oh my god, like I'm about to shit myself." But I mean, she remained calm. She stayed focused during the match, and for like that entrance with Rhea, it was like a mix of hometown girl and also mega superstar. Like she's the face, the true face of this women's division.
Right.
Like it's even when she's like the top heel, she's gonna turn babyface soon. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, and then we got the people that got to see a lot of ass cheeks of Rhea Ripley.
Thank you, Nia, for doing that for us. Thank you for helping us with that.
I mean, thank you, Rhea. She knows what she's doing with her gear.
Yeah, but Nia also gave a little oopsie. She gave a little oopsie with that.
And then we had basically the finish. Rhea hit her with the Riptide, and then the sexy pin on Nia, and then just like spots her in the face on the way out, like mom, because Mommy's always on top.
Well, remember, not only that, we also got to see a frog splash as well beforehand.
Yeah, that's not a good frog splash.
I thought it was all right.
It could use a little work.
But
that was Elimination Chamber. Predictable show, but not for nothing. They all busted their asses.
And I thought matches were fun. It had a good card. The elevation of what's occurred in the past year when it comes to the PLEs and just the roster in a whole, you could gauge a sense that the roster is happier, that they fulfilled. Yes. And doesn't her sister look like her when she first started?
Yes. Yeah. It was funny too because Cole kept referring to like Rhea's here with like her mother, her father, her brother, her sister, and her 13 other family members. There's 13 other people here.
Yeah. But I have to say that in all honesty, like you could feel that they're out there and they're not only putting on the best of showings that they can have, but they're also enjoying themselves and having a good time. And it's good to see that the roster is actually happy. You don't hear a lot of griping. Now everything is from here on out. It's just contracts. It's let's negotiate money, and that's it.
Right.
But that's gonna close out Elimination Chamber. We're gonna go through AEW.
Hold on, I do want to go through my predictions just quickly.
Okay.
Because after the show, we got the 4 WrestleMania matches confirmed. Bayley versus Io Sky for the women's title, women's world title, Ripley and Lynch, Rollins and Drew for the men's world, and the WWE title, Roman and Cody. So this is the match. Mind you, this is days before the show that jotted all this down. So I wrote down for like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that they usually do on SmackDown. I have either Solo Sikoa or Braun Breaker as the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as far as like the main card goes, I had LA Knight versus AJ Styles in the singles. I have Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar.
Yeah, because Rey should be back by then.
I have for the women's tag titles a 4-way match: Kabuki Warriors against Liv and Raquel versus Fire and Dawn versus Katana and Kaden.
Okay.
And then the obvious one we have Jimmy versus Jey Uso.
Yeah, that's the biggest build up there.
Yeah, 8-person. I have an 8-person mixed tag. That's probably going to happen. Lastly, B-Fab and the Prophets against Cross, Scarlet, and AOP.
Okay.
I have Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton.
That it looks like that's where they're alluding to.
And I have Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yes. For the Intercontinental title, I have Gunther defending against Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Because I was debating about this. I was thinking it's either going to be Sheamus, Andrade, but I was thinking maybe let's do Sami Zayn.
Mm.
For the tag titles, Priest and Balor against the Awesome Truth.
Okay.
And then finally for the U.S. title, and mind you, this was like 2 days before the Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, so far that seems feasible.
Yeah. So more than likely, I probably nailed most of them, but You know what the idea is going to be for Randy Orton and Logan Paul for him to do that high flying maneuver or buckshot into RKO. It's more than likely that's what the moment they want for WrestleMania weekend.
Right. Any of those matches are feasible, and I could definitely see that happening.
Right.
So
yeah, I wanted to throw that out there.
You want to go into Revolution predictions because we pretty much know that we're only going to get maybe 6 matches right now.
Yeah, I will. I was actually good thing we're doing this because I found 9 matches official. Okay. And then you want to do the newsletter stuff?
Yes,
the
definitely.
Newsletter awards?
Yeah, definitely.
So as you alluded to, and I showed in the group chat for the viewing party that we plan on doing, a triple threat Meat Madness match. Lance Archer versus Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah,
what does the winner get? I don't know.
I everybody was talking about Brian Cage would be in this match. Definitely, he's hurt. I had a good feeling that Archer was going to be involved in this.
I mean, if Brian Cage is in this, him and Wardlow need to do the Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other like, "Wait a minute, you look like me, and I look like you." And I said this in the chat. Not for nothing. Wardlow's promo on Wednesday is leading to this.
Yeah, there's well, let's hope Peppermint could actually start shaking things up a little bit more over there soon.
This match reminds me of the fucking Cracker Barrel triple threat they did.
Yes.
Remember when AW started?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if there's like meat hanging around the ring.
Meat Magnus.
We have FTR versus John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli.
I appreciated their first bout and Dynamite this week because it reminded me of a fight. That's what I liked about it, and I'm hoping that they continue on with that. I want that to have a look. Does FTR need a win here?
Yes.
Okay, so
let's be real here. They've fallen since they dropped the tag titles. They've been stuck on Collision for so many months at this point. I mean, the last time we saw them was fucking All In, All Out, back to back, and then they dropped it to Starks and Bill.
Then I'm gonna say that this is This is a win for the BCC.
You're not gonna go FTR?
Nah,
because realistic here. If whoever wins gets the tag titles, whatever happens in the main event, the tag titles are gonna be upheld.
Well, I was going to
mention, or maybe
I didn't mention who brings the Meat Madness Monster Ball, whatever the fuck it's called. Of course, Wardlow's going to win.
Yeah. We have for the TNT Championship, Christian Cage against Daniel Garcia. I'm going for an upset here. I'm going to go with Garcia.
I would like to see that Garcia wins, but the family is going to get involved, so Christian wins.
Because let's be real. Because as much as we love Christian is the best heel in this company right now. If this Copeland Cage feud is not over and they really don't need the TNT title, because it feels at hostage at this point, to me at least. Because this belt could be defended on TV weekly, and if you give it to a guy like Garcia, you gotta get some good matches on TV at least.
I heard that. Oh, remember that was also the title that was the hot potato belt for a while. So
yes.
Did Christian give out an address this past week on the show? Did you see what the address was for?
For a funeral. Well, no, not
a cemetery.
A cemetery.
What an asshole!
I shared it. I go, "No, you can't be serious."
What an asshole! I love it.
It's Christian. You know what? It's like you want him to retain, but it's also too. It's like I know we want more for him. Like at least give him the world title at least once.
Yeah.
We have Will Ospreay making his in-ring AEW debut, technically, whatever you want to fucking call it. But it's against Konosuke Takeshita.
I believe that
this is going to be good.
This is going to be good. This is going to be really solid, fun. A little mix of technical, a little mix of high flyer and off the wall shit. But,
strong style.
Yeah, you're gonna get a blend of everything here. I'm gonna say that this is probably gonna be my match of the night and probably my favorite match to watch.
This will lead to Will Ospreay because technically he's in the Don Callis family.
Right. That's the only thing that like made no sense to me. But okay, but maybe this is the way of separating him from that so he can have his own thing.
And by the time we record this on Wednesday, Ospreay makes his Dynamite debut appearance. So maybe they'll tease more of it. Not for nothing, Jay. I'm looking forward to this next match, even more than Will Ospreay. Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown. Now, Continental Crown be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson. I've been loving this stuff. I've been loving all the stuff on TV with Bryan Danielson spitting in his face saying, "I don't respect you.
Right.
You're a disgrace to what professional wrestling is." And meanwhile, I look at Eddie Kingston and he's the epitome of a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I go, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not buying this, Brian. I'm okay with that. But it's cool. It's cool.
You almost made my heart drop. I was supposed to say, don't be negative on this.
No. But it's cool. I'm not buying the fact that he's not, he doesn't respect him and such. But I do get the intention. But the match will be a fun match as well.
Yeah, he's telling. But when he says he doesn't, it's all story.
Right.
It's all storyline. Also, it's funny too because this is technically his last wrestling year, and he's just being a prick heel.
Right.
So I guess I don't know, but I got Eddie Kingston technically retaining here because he has a belt that doesn't get defended as much as the other two.
I would go the opposite, and I would probably see that Bryan wins this one,
and then maybe it leads to a rematch down the line.
Yeah.
All right. We have for the AEW Women's World Title, we have Toni Storm against Deonna Purrazzo.
I'm gonna take Tony here.
Yeah, I got Tony as well. I mean, I like what they've been doing with Deonna, but this is kind of the MO of debuting a new talent and then beating them in their first attempt.
Right.
Jay, it's your boy. For the international title, Orange Cassidy defends against Roderick Strong and his weird-looking mustache.
Oh, jeez.
Look at that mustache.
Can we just sit there and say like this is going to be my bathroom match of the night?
Can you? We'll go through it to the newsletter, but the Undisputed Kingdom, like Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say that not to take anything away from Roddy. Roddy like is a proficient wrestler.
Right.
I just can't with this fucking Cassidy. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say Roderick wins. Fuck it.
Roddy needs to win.
Yeah. Roderick wins.
They built this whole thing for so many months with the devil. The Undisputed Kingdom needs. They need this. Because if he loses, they're done.
Yeah. If Cassidy wins, this is just going to be a fucking mess.
Oh, my God. It's already a mess.
Yeah.
Adam Cole hurt.
Yeah. It's we already know where the bread is buttered at.
Adam Cole's already in the running for best manager of 2024.
Wow.
and Vince predicted that so many years ago. Remember that bullshit?
Yep.
We have a triple threat match for the AEW World Title. This one I'm interested a lot in. Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland tried to dethrone Samoa Joe.
Oh man, whatever the hell is going on with Hangman,
it's gonna play into the match.
Yeah, Joe retains here. I think for Swerve to win, it has to be done on a 1-to-1 situation. So Samoa Joe retains.
It's not Swerve's time yet. I did like somebody's scenario was like if say like Joe has Hangman in the choke, and you have Swerve outside and he's about to run in, but then because Hangman's ultimate goal is make sure Swerve doesn't get the title or like get another title shot. So, like before Hangman taps out, he gives him the middle finger and then taps. Like, there goes your title shot, buddy. Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounded very interesting to me. But then we have the main event. The selling point of this pay-per-view. Sting's last match, and it's for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And it's a tornado tag. Sting and Darby against Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
the AEW EVP. That's what they're called.
So, does Rick get involved in this match and help?
Of course.
The Jacksons or help Sting and Darby?
Yeah, one final fuck you to Sting. They're going to do the old traditional horseman beatdown with the Bucks. A Buck beatdown.
Well, I'll say this.
It's Ric Flair and Sting. What do you? It's tradition as old as time. When Ric Flair is near Sting, he has to screw him.
I do say this. There is some rumblings that this may not be his last match, that they're actually going to hold off for it for All In. But me, I'm saying he goes out on his back. This is just a way to line up the EVPs to get the titles again.
Yeah, for mega heat.
Right.
And then just like, if you think about it too, you say Ric Flair does do the whole turn on Sting, haha bullshit.
Right.
You pair Ric Flair with the Bucks and have you do them do skits where they all go and suit shopping and all that type of thing. Like, it could work. But the fact is, I don't want to see Ric Flair at ringside with them. I'd rather let him be like an advisor.
Right.
Like, not like a full-time manager, because Ric Flair shouldn't be even signed to AEW.
At this point, he's just, like I said, the woo wings and the woo drink or whatever, they're paying for themselves. So, yeah. And Tony's like, hey, I take it or leave it, it's whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna say that the EVPs get the win here, and they got the bang for their buck when they can. Oh, pun intended. But to get the sellout of the arena for Sting's last match, since it's basically Sting country, WCW country.
If there's no garbage thrown in the ring when the Bucks win,
yeah, we riot. So gonna close this out here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save the awards for next episode, because we're gonna be shit deep this episode. It's gonna be a jam-packed episode. So we'll talk about it.
And we have a lot to talk about with that.
Yeah. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll talk about the Wrestling Observers Awards on the next episode. We have much to talk about. We have much to catch up on. Wrestling Rundown's coming up next, and don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around. Got more to say. See you guys in a second.
This is your girl's favorite referee, Angel Cruz. Before I hit the mat for the count of 3, go give her a listen to the podcast that calls it right down the middle, just like me. And that's Turnbuckle Tabloid with Jay Santee.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santee.
Live from New York, it's Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Another week of wrestling in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestling Rundown. Here with my boy Whole Milk Mike. Step it in, check it in. What's going on, Mike?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Recuperating. Let's just say what it is.
24 hours later.
Oh, Jesus. Shout out to the boys at VxS, man. Big show last night, man. That was a big come up, man. Those guys really did a number on us yesterday.
I'm jealous of you.
Why? What with me?
Because there was someone there that I recognized. I'm thinking, I don't want to be racist and call him by the wrong name, but the guys from Wild and Out were there.
Oh, Charlie Clipson on DNA. Yeah.
Yep. I looked at them. I was like, wait, that can't be them. I mean, well, it's them. And then I see you posted, you got pictures with them. So good for you.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you was a fan. I got you a picture with them as well. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't want to approach them and be like, because I recognize their faces, but I did have their names sitting, so I'll be like, hey.
What you was gonna say? Like, hey, you're the black guys from that black show on the Black MTV channel.
Yeah, I like that show.
I like that. I like when you black people goof on other black people. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't think you would have done that. Yeah, I think it would have been fine. No, but
I went on a massive black guy on this recording.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Like I said, shout out to VxS Arrival, man. That shit was a great show. They tore down the house. It was good to see that the crowd was thick in there today because they were running to get some tough competition last night on Friday, man. It was good to see that the fan base came out and there was even people that were giving them their first opportunity, their first try. Because usually VxS, if you guys don't know about VxS, Violence and Suffering, it's funny because my brother, a friend of his from California, they're in Cali, and when VxS was out there, I believe it was during Mania weekend that they partook in a VxS show and they enjoyed it. But this is a stark contrast from what they usually would do. They've had their underground, kind of indie settings and such. But now VxS is a little bit more structured for the New York scene, and they did a phenomenal job. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to that Punk Isaac family in the building, and as well as Jack and the rest of the crew. Shout out to Ray Raimundo as well, who partook in it, and the rest of the VxS clan that did it up yesterday. Shout out to my boy Julius Smokes. He was in the building last night as well. Yeah.
Not for nothing. When it comes to when they're running shows at the Elks Lodge, it's like a family reunion. You see people that you haven't seen in a while. I mean, not for nothing for us. We've been there for the last couple of times, but when we see like a big group of people like that, we haven't seen that since like the pre-pandemic.
Yeah, it's legendary too. Like there's been so much history there going back from like ICW, ECW used to run there next door as well. It's shout out to my bartender, my boy the bartender. He's always hooking me up. That place that fucking they do buybacks. It's a bar. It's a tradition in bartending. It's what you do.
Shout out to the old man that you made laugh at the bar.
Oh.
When he walked in and you go, oh, there he is, the old timer. And then he was looking down the bar. He was like looking at you.
Oh, Jesus.
With a big smile on his face.
There was a part last night where we were at the bar, we were waiting, and there was two dudes there. It was this one Asian dude and his friend, right? And he comes to approach me, and they're like, dude, why they don't have you on commentary? He says, you are the funniest thing that's going on right now. He says, we're watching wrestling and listening to you more than anything. So I'm like, oh man, thanks a lot, bro. He's like, yo, you guys are hilarious. And I just turned to him. I said, sorry, I don't mean to be like, I don't want to be stereotypical or something, but shit, the way you look right now, you look like a fucking Tekken 8 character right now. And he fell out. I said, if you would be the cheat code right now if I was playing Tekken 8, I would pick you easy. He's like, yeah, I get that a lot.
That's amazing.
But yeah, once again, shout out to those guys. But as always, I am the Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is your Wrestling Rundowns weekend update. Speaking of updates, we talked about it a little earlier on the show as well, but there's been more that's coming out for the WWE 2K update. Did you see what's going on with the possible teasers on the DLCs and the season pass?
Yes, I did. The image, I don't know if you want to pull it up, if you have it or not. It's
most likely I don't. That's okay. But
I think I sent it in the chat. But they did this this is one of those fun little things where it's like they do images related to certain superstars, and you have to figure out like who's who. So this year, I think a lot of them were obvious ones. Like so. We have Carlito, we have the Dudleys, we have Lyra Valkyria, DDP. I was able to find him doing the diamond cutter symbol with the hand gesture. That was in there. And then a lot of them were very like sneaky picks. So pull up because I screenshot a bunch of people putting down what their guesses were.
Give me 1 second. I got it. There we go. We're putting it up here. So, we got some discussions with possibilities. We spoke about it before, but who would be of course, the obvious picks were early on. We said it would be, Jade Cargill will be on there. They also discussed, if they can get Punk in there. I believe they can. There's talks of who else are there. Like, for instance, they're talking about Carlito, like that we see here, is possibly going to be in the game.
They have the pirate wheel, so it's going to be Kairi Sane.
Right.
Post Malone. Post Malone has been already confirmed as a DLC character because of the soundtrack.
Right.
But other names that people were able to figure out, so the Dudley Boys, the Sandman, Tori Wilson, Terry Funk, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, Lyra Valkyria, Iron Sheik, Lex Luger, Jimmy Hart, Honky Tonk Man, DDP, and Jade Cargill.
So
now we knew CM Punk. We know CM Punk is a DLC, but I was just trying to figure like what clue was for him.
Yeah,
is it the microphone?
They did say microphone, but at the same time, the mic is on a mic stand, so that looks more like of a performer, if anything.
Right. Well, that might be Post Malone, realistically.
Possibly, but as well as there's like I said, there's
as we're doing this. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at because certain things like Dragon Lee is also in this as well.
Yeah, I think Punk is going to be that late addition to it. But they'll just throw him into a DLC pack like towards the end. I think that's where it'll happen. Like we just seen right now, the possibility of Sandman being in the game because the introduction of the ECW brand in the GM mode is going to happen. There's even discussion. There's a black hat in it as well that they showed. And look, we looking at images of the Dudleys. But we also might see the black hat, meaning we might get the old Paulie Dangerously Paul Heyman ECW. So that'll be interesting. But other than that, there has been some. There's also been some discussions about the gameplay and such. What's been going on with the mechanics, and so far, there hasn't been any arguments or complaints from anyone that's been testing it.
Yeah, and I've seen the videos of people uploading at the roster pages, and there's like 5 different Bray Wyatts from the Firefly Funhouse match, and there's like 5 different Cenas as well. There's multiple copies of a wrestler. And what I like, too, is that when you go to the edit roster page, that they show that the unlockable characters, you can now finally get exclusive My Faction characters.
Oh, thankfully that and the
but which means that you would have to play it first to unlock the characters. It's not like those things where you get the accelerator and unlock everything. You would have to go through it and unlock certain things.
Oh, so they're forcing you to play My Faction this year,
right? Like if you really want it, we'll show it to you. So we'll tempt you.
Oh, okay. So that actually works because I've never got into My Faction. Really didn't care about it. So this would actually help to get me to play the My Faction game as well, to get me involved in that.
It always came off as Supercard on the console.
Right. I've what do you call it? I was listening to an interview last night with Brian Williams from 2K, and he discussed what I found interesting was the not only the paybacks, they added 60 more to the paybacks. And also for the referee matches and such, that they look like official referees. It's not like you just threw a shirt on a skin and just called him a wrestler. Also, I believe he alluded to saying that you could actually play as a referee, as in that you could be the referee. Any referee there. You
can play as Charles Robinson or any of the female refs if you like.
Right. So that's actually pretty cool, especially if you're able to. It kind of sucks because online has been so bad lately with the WWE 2K games, but it actually would have been pretty cool to have like that kind of referee match, and then someone is a referee in that match that you're having. Shout out to Mark as well. Our boy Mark, who showed up at VxS yesterday. He had to proclaim that you guys Wrestling Federation was the best online wrestling federation ever.
Yeah, listen, I love Mark, but he that's one thing where he regrets. Where he's like, if that would have kept going, we could have been flying out to Florida and playing these games.
It's true though. Seriously, if you guys would have kept that going, it would have had some momentum.
Yeah, which reminds us we need to get Jaron back on before the game comes out.
Definitely.
Well, by the time the game does come out, because he did fly out to Utah for the final play demo.
Oh, okay, good. So good. You got to reach out to them to see what's going on there. But other than that, guys, we'll catch up to you with more WWE 2K24 stuff. We got like about a week away. If you got the early access, if you pre-ordered, you'll most likely gonna be getting by next Tuesday, the following Tuesday. So keep you posted on that. Next up, Ace Steel hired by TNA. What's your thoughts about that?
Not really shocking. I really want to consider this major news, considering that he's been with them since Bound for Glory. And I remember the report saying with them hiring Ace Steel that they were trying to bring in CM Punk as well. So I kind of see it. And also, I mean, I don't know the guy. I only knew him. I mean, his claim to fame for me is him fucking biting Kenny Omega.
And you pretty much like, I mean,
he was a wrestler.
Yeah. You pretty much, that's what you pretty much really know him from, is just that whole brawl for it all in, or brawl out, whatever the fuck he was labeling it. It's pretty much what they heard. But apparently, he has some connection and ties, and he's actually really good. They've been saying he's very good with putting together matches and such like that. So, staying on the TNA conversation, Steve Macklin. His TNA contract is up in May. Also, there is some discussions that TNA extended Josh Alexander's contract, but he was not pleased with that. He actually wanted to negotiate and maybe look at other opportunities out there. So there's a lot of moving parts that's going on with TNA. They just had No Surrender the night last night. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I have seen the reports about it. We'll discuss certain moves that were made for that as well. And yeah,
it's always good. It's good news when the wives interject where Josh Alexander's wife Jade Chung, who's the new ring announcer, goes, "They just extended my husband's contract. Yay!" Because all the reports are like Josh wanted to renegotiate, and then for whatever time he missed from his injury, they extended it now. So now he's staying longer for another year.
So I also got the I didn't really get to look at it in full depth this morning, but you guys were sharing the photos or videos of what the roster did last night. I don't remember what was it that
So Eric Young came out with the roster before the show, and they gave a big speech about how we're family, whatever's going on, we always stick together, blah blah blah, that type of thing. And I don't know how to perceive that. I don't know if that's more of just like that's, it just comes off to me as like it's like another everything's fine, nothing to worry about type of thing, nothing to see here. We're just gonna move forward. Meanwhile, damn well that this roster is pissed off that the guy that was basically head of creative, basically was the man that brought TNA back, is gone.
Right. I think
you could just tell on their faces too when they all came out, like they came out as a unit, as a family, and that's rare with some companies because most of the other companies like WWE, they say they're family, and we don't know how it really is. With AEW, there's two main families, and that's in one family that everybody doesn't get along with. So with TNA, it always feels something special going on. But again, this feels like another one of those nothing to see here, nothing bad's going on. We're trying to do the right thing type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's always that whole when you take two steps forward, you take one back with them. So I don't know.
No, it's usually 2 steps forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah, I root for them, man. I really do. I really root for that crew over there, man. I've always liked TNA. Like I said, TNA has always been like comfort food to me because I could always pick it up wherever it is going on and watch it and still have a good time with it. So hoping to see them, I guess forge forward and push through this.
And to add one more thing on the TNA front, I just wanted to, because I think you were going to say this too, that they had the No Surrender show, and Mustafa Ali won the X Division title.
We'll get to that in a second out because there's certain moves that happen. I'm going to save that for the main event because there was something that came up and I noticed in the social medias and I'm like, some wrestling fan bases, they don't understand the business. And I'm like, all right, I'll explain later. I'll give you a sec.
I gotcha.
Unfortunately, Shotzi will be out for 9 months due to a torn ACL. This seems like to be a problem in this company. Another ACL injury. I have a theory with this because, no, and it's not, I think it's just the workout regimens and especially, cause I've seen it in sports and on all facets of sports, especially when it comes to conditioning and such. And it's a lot of wear and tear when it goes on the knees, especially if you're doing a lot of cardio or the specific type of weight training. You're actually tearing a lot of ligaments in those areas and such. So I think that there has to be some kind of accountability when it comes to the training and what are they putting their wrestlers through in their regiments. It's crazy how this happens.
Yeah, and this one was a freak accident. It was literally on her just getting out of the ring and her just landing on the floor.
Yeah. It's unfortunate she'll be out for 9 months, but yeah, and
you add her to the list along with these are not all the same injuries, but girls like Sol Ruka, Nikita Lyons is out again. Cora Jade, who just came back, is now out with ACL. Like, it's just a shame. It's happening to the people, especially for Sol Ruka, Nikita Lyons, and Cora Jade, who you can tell they're putting a lot of stock into them and they want them to succeed faster so they get them to the main roster. Right. They're just, whatever the hell they're doing at the Performance Center, I've heard that it's because of they're lifting too much weight or doing whatever they're pushing themselves too much or they're getting pushed to do it. It's been a problem. I mean, like last year there was 20 women reported all with injuries, and some of them, like half of them were ACLs.
Yeah, it's a mixture of the weight training and the cardio that goes into it because you're putting a lot of wear and tear on your knees, and you shouldn't be having to have all that that burn happening with it, especially with your knees. I know it's a very quintessential component in wrestling. Your knees is very. When you see them train, you see how they work. A lot of times it's everything, even from getting up from the mat, they show you how to work with getting up from your knees. So it's very important that you keep that in condition, but at the same time, you can't be putting too much wear and tear on it. Mm-hmm. What was your thoughts about on Monday Night Raw? We had a UFC fighter challenging another UFC fighter to a match, and we saw this on Raw. Chandler called out our resident
McGregor,
our resident fanboy of Conor McGregor, Hank Flanagan, must have been losing his shit when he heard it.
He called out Hank Flanagan on Raw.
No, he just wanted to let him know that he still has interest in his boy Conor McGregor.
So, I thought I was in the Twilight Zone.
Mm.
I thought this was like a WWE.com exclusive. No, this was live on fucking Monday Night Raw. I mean, this just shows you the TKO merger. Right? There's really nothing else to it, right? I mean, also, I believe McGregor said he was in line for, like, he was scheduled to do a fight in the fall of this year, right?
Right.
So, it's just weird that to do a promotion on Monday Night Raw for it. I mean, thank God he didn't point at the WrestleMania sign. I want you at fucking WrestleMania.
Right.
Because then you can see Triple H's face be like, that was not the point of the segment. God damn it.
Well, but who's not to say that we might not see a call out happen again at Mania and such, and maybe we'll see a run-in. Like,
also, not for nothing. When you mentioned it, I completely forgot that happened on Monday because when we reviewed Elimination Chamber, there was another UFC fire shot that popped up.
Oh yeah, during the Grayson Waller effect, right?
I mean, I did not know who the fuck that guy was.
Oh, I definitely know that guy's fucking awesome. That's my dude. But yeah, that's.
I'll take your word for it.
I'll take I take it that now here on out we are going to see more of this crossover happening, and I'm not opposed to it. I'm all right with it. Did you hear what Mandy Rose proclaimed was the biggest amount in which a fan gave her for her during her OnlyFans?
Someone was very lonely.
Jesus Christ. Holy Lord.
I mean,
I love Poontang, but not that much. 55,000 in a one sitting. Wow.
For what? For specifically just pictures, a video?
I don't know.
Striptease?
Who the fuck knows? I mean,
I love there's wrestling fans that will still want Mandy Rose to come back. No, she's settled. She doesn't need to take another bump in her life.
And the fact that I actually know that this is happening kind of makes me feel sad about myself as well. Like, I'm just so. I recently saw that there was a MMA fighter who took out an Instagram model for $85,000 shopping spree. And when I saw who the person was, I said, "Oh, that's Miss Rabbit." And I said, "God, the fact that I knew who she was makes me sound so fucking sad."
Mm-hmm.
By the way, my Instagram page is just filthy with just ass women. It's filthy. It's just disgusting.
I'm boob women.
Well, I'm in that same boat as well. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So when I saw this article, I was like, nah, this shit got to be like from The Onion or fucking Kayfabe News or some shit. But apparently it wasn't. An Albany wrestling promotion actually had the goal to bring back to wrestling the Velveteen Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm all about giving people, second opportunities in life, but this kid is a fucking pure asshole in all sense of the word, especially the stuff in which he's tied to and connected to. Not even me being just a father, just being a human in general, just is everything that goes through me just despises what this guy is all about. He came off as a real asshole coming up. I never really liked the kid when he first started coming up, especially during Tough Enough. I never had I never really fucked with him but I thought he was talented. I thought he was a spot on ring performer. And for him to take the extremes that he took, and gimmick wise and such, I could see. But at the same time, I was like, maybe it wasn't that extreme. He just rubs me the wrong way.
This whole thing too, because I was talking with Henry from Chosen Wrestling Report about it, because he did a whole video about it, and I said too, not for nothing. Like I've seen the video, I've seen him do his apology, but he really didn't apologize for what he did. He just said, like, I'm sorry to the people that are affected, but it was more. It was like there was never a thing of, I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for, like, he didn't take ownership of what he did.
Right.
And if you want to look up what he did, you can look it up. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that
slimy.
Just the fact that the promotion. I mean, I don't know who runs it. I really don't give a damn. But I hope they're happy with that payday. Yeah. I hope they're happy giving him that money, because they got buzz from it. So, I mean that's the point of certain wrestling promoters. They want buzz, and they got their names out there.
Yeah, I would like to see who's going to piggyback off of this. I pretty much understand. I got a sense of certain promotions and promoters. I've spoken to stuff, and from the people that we know or such, they wouldn't fucking touch this guy with a 10-foot fucking pole.
Exactly.
Kevin Nash recently spoke on his possibly being connected or tied to Sting's retirement match, and he's like, "Yep, nope, can't do it. I'm tied to WWE. I will not be. I'm not allowed to do it. It won't be an obligation for it." He says, "Hey, I'll hang out."
He pulled the contract card. He goes, "No, I'm signed to WWE, brother."
Yeah, and it's like, "Hey, listen." We'll hang out after. We'll get some drinks or whatever it is that we want to do afterwards. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
what was he really gonna do? He was just gonna sit in the front row, and then you could have the camera pants and like, "Look who's in the house, big sexy's here to see Sting's final match." And
listen, I mean, in
the past we've seen it happen.
If he really wanted to, Like
he could go.
He could
If
go.
he asked Triple H, he said, "Listen, let me go."
Yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna bust his balls about it or anything. But he's like, he's got to, he's loyal to where he's at, man.
Kevin Nash ain't gonna do anything physical. Not for nothing. I want to, with those WWE and AEW thing where it comes to like, certain talent, like being appearing, because not for nothing. In the last 3 years of the WWE Hall of Fame, the amount of AEW superstars we've seen on the WWE stage at the Hall of Fame,
right?
I mean, it's not like the forbidden door is burned to the ground at this point.
Yeah, it's not what you call it. It's not anything that's opposed by companies for that to occur. Just there's certain elements to it that you just can't be involved in. And we saw Ricky Starks show up with Cody Rhodes in places. Of course, you got wrestlers. Yeah, you got wrestlers who are married. You see freaking
Buddy Murphy was at the last
and shit like that. So
Andrade before he came back.
Right.
But you know what's gonna be interesting too, Jay? Is around WrestleMania. If Tony allows Dustin Rhodes to appear in the crowd just to support his brother.
That'll be
that's gonna be an interesting story.
He'll be in the motherfucking in the suites. He'll be up top. Ain't nobody paying no mind to that shit. Yeah. Looks as though the AEW, speaking of AEW, got themselves a big signing. No, it wasn't a wrestler. It's actually a writer for the company who just recently left WWE. Jennifer Pepperman signs with AEW, and it's a big grab for them. Seeing as though that they need it right now. They need some kind of guidance over there. She's a 3-time Daytime Emmy Award winner, which means that she worked on soap operas, which means perfect for wrestling. And
better scripted promos.
I always said two things. It's either get soap opera writers or get comic book writers for wrestling, because it's the perfect balance of that shit. But yeah, and it makes sense because there's a certain individual who's been tied to her as well. Mercedes Moné, she and Monet are very close, and they've worked together in the past. So,
2 weeks out from the Boston show.
Yeah. So,
with her and
it's 3 weeks.
March 13th.
Yeah, like something like that. But yeah, it's an interesting sign. I believe it's a big deal. Along with QT Marshall coming back, are we seeing Tony loosening up the restraints of the booking and letting others come in to help and shake it up a little bit?
We will know if he hires Scott D'Amore.
That'll be interesting as well.
Say he lets Scott D'Amore and QT Marshall run Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that would be interesting as well. So we'll see.
And also the QT Marshall thing too. That you kind of feel bad for him because he was like, "I'm going to go out and see if I can make a splash somewhere," and then it's like nobody wanted him, and Tony's like, "Come on back, no hard feelings.
All right,
we'll give you the same spot you had before, but just you're not going to wrestle anymore."
Continuing on with the AEW news, just recently announced, and I was surprised it wasn't a big announcement that occurred, but they couldn't do it this past Dynamite because, man, Dynamite was in shambles with a lot of injuries and a lot of incidents that was occurring, which, by the way, I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't give a damn what Madison Rayne says. That spot was fucking scary. Her getting spiked on her fucking head.
Thank God she's all right, though.
Yeah, she tries to settle like, great to see that nobody know, that people are checking in, but also don't know what the business is about. Dude, you got spiked. That was not a good look. Regardless of who or what happened there, that wasn't a good look.
Let me ask you, but honestly, because I'm not a wrestler, and we don't claim to be wrestlers, but when you saw it,
speak for yourself, buddy.
I mean, when was the last time you took a bump?
Took one last night. I was in a bathroom hanging. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do coke.
So anyway, but when you saw that spot, like, whose fault was that?
It looks like it was just a miscommunication by both. And plus, it's
because it looked like Deanna went to the mat first, and then Madison just went, "Oh shit," and then went bam.
Yeah,
but she just went straight down on her head.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it's a miscommunication by both, and it's also a weird maneuver as well because, as you can see, what height wise, she has to be up a certain height to bring her down. It's probably not one of the best spots for them to do. But at the same time, like we mentioned, we had the discussion where, and we was having this conversation in the group chat where, in the group page was like, Injuries happen in wrestling. We get it. You know, these instances hurt. It happens. But at the same time, the backlash is as always, stop fucking proclaiming you're the safest promotion in the world when you're not. You can't say that. It's inevitable. It's like working for the fire department. One way or another, you're gonna get burned one day, and that's
something
just part of
bad
the
will
business.
happen.
Yeah. So, I mean,
also with the AEW, this is like the second incident in the last 2 weeks because the whole Sammy Guevara Jeff Hardy thing from last week.
Right. He was concussed. He got a broken nose. Jeff got a broken nose from it.
He got knocked Jay. He got knocked out. He was out. He was out cold.
Yeah.
And the referee, I forget who the referee is, but it's usually the culprit's fucking Rick Knox half this fucking time, where he's like, Jeff, hello, all right, go on.
But you see, that's the other thing too, that they allow these wrestlers to continue on, and it's like, no, even WWE has learned to not do that anymore. They stop matches now. We recently saw it during a match with, I believe it was Jey Uso.
We saw it with
it
was Carmelo and Austin.
And Carmelo and Austin as well. You take it home or just, throw up the X. This is what we're doing. So,
but this one for AEW, I understand what you're saying. Sometimes it's on the talent, but also if you're the referee, just have
be conscious.
Have the judgment call saying, listen, if you see this guy is not moving or responding to you, just drop the X and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
If Tony Khan's in your ear screaming at you, saying do something, take action. Or if he's not doing anything, then it's on Tony Khan.
And also leaning on injuries, quote unquote, because apparently the injury that was supposed to occur to Hangman this past week as well is not actually an injury. Apparently it's part of a storyline move. I guess this is them trying to have
be careful. Be careful. Don't be a Facebook journalist.
Exactly right. It's like apparently this is why I'm throwing up allegedlys and shit. So who the fuck knows? It's all shit anyway. Like that's happening with that whole storyline anyway. So I'm just like whatever.
Hangman TA.
With I didn't even get to the reasoning for the announcement that Forbidden Door I said is coming to Ash to Alta Ash Stadium in June. That's interesting.
Yep.
I have to say that because they were discussing that they wanted to have a larger pay-per-view at an American site, a North American site. I mean, I guess if that's what you were aiming for, I thought they were going for bigger shit. I thought they were going for football stadiums, but okay. Do you think that they could be able to sell out a football stadium in the United States? Like, could they do like all out in a football stadium?
That's an interesting question. Because let's be real here, when they announced Wembley, we were skeptical. Like, there's no way, and they did it. And despite the inflation of number or deflation, but when you look at if you're Tony Khan and you're saying I want to run the AEW New Japan joint show, right? And you look at your venue options, you're not getting Madison Square Garden because WWE has that locked down to key, except for that one time where they let Ring of Honor run it and WWE threatened to take away their Christmas show.
Right.
And then also Barclays. They're not getting Barclays either. You could make the thing is also too the Manhattan Center or the ballroom could have been options, but that's been done to death. So with Arthur Ashe, it's a nice venue. Let's be real here. We've been there. It's a good venue.
No. It's a good venue to watch wrestling. As in for anything else, like concession wise and stuff like that, it's
horrible,
dreadful. It is.
You have to eat. You have to grab something to eat before and after.
Yeah, it's abysmal how I don't even understand. Hopefully they've changed that, but from what I've heard recently, that is not the case.
Yeah, and let's be real. The last couple of Grand Slams they have sold them out, so there is a market for it. It's just that if when you say football sims, are you asking like City Field, that type of thing? I mean, I say hell no because that's another WWE domain. Like they're not going to be able to. AEW's not going to sell that out.
Well, to be like MetLife and shit like that.
MetLife, yeah,
yeah. But I'm saying like, yeah, because in all honesty, like, they want to see if they could test the waters with that, but I think they have the gauging the sense, especially how attendance wise have been happening for their television shows. It hasn't been gauged well. All right. Wembley, I laughed at as well. I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, European fans are ravenous for wrestling. They would come out, and that's a bonus. That's fine. It's cool for that. But here stateside, it's a cult kind of following when it comes to promotions. And listen, it took WWE 3 years, and they were able to get the Silver Dome. That was for their WrestleMania. So it's not an easy hill to climb when it comes to wanting to fill those seats.
And also with the stage setup too, when they did all in, it was a small setup. With WWE, they do these big extravagant stage setups so they can hide or like show, like, I don't know, WWE are able to fill in a stadium regardless of the stage size. With AEW, it's going to be a small setup, and you're going to be able to see a lot of empty seats and a lot of closed off.
Right,
things.
Definitely.
So especially also too in the States too, before they can even fill up a football stadium, you need to still try and fill up your small ass arenas that you still can't do.
Right.
So they need to jump that hurdle before they go big, in my opinion.
It's official. Robert Roode is basically retired. It's done. And
his own decision,
and he's happy for it. He had a long career in TNA and Impact. He finally made his way to WWE through NXT. I believe he had a good, a decent run, solid run. They really, under the old regime, they really couldn't do much with him. It's unfortunate, especially towards the end, having a string of injuries and such, had him out of the ring. But he's now officially said that he's been cleared to wrestle, but his days is done.
Yeah.
He's 48 years old. He's gotten into a producer's role. I believe that's actually a really large producer's role as well. He's part of the working alongside Michael Hayes with Main Events. So that's a big move right there.
You say what you will about Michael Hayes, but you know what? It's a good spot for Bobby Roode. And I mentioned this too, that this makes him the third TNA alumni to join the producer's role.
Right.
It's him, P.D. Williams, and Abyss.
Right. So, it's
good for Roode. And his NXT run, I mean, the theme song made his run,
right,
pun intended, glorious. Let's be real here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what you did there.
The reactions this man would get was insane. But then once he got to the main roster, unfortunately, like you said, injuries withstood that. And then him, I think obviously too with Vince too, when Vince was there, he looked at the age thing. I was like, so I'm just going to put you with Ziggler and you guys are going to be a team. And not for nothing, when you give those two guys something to do, they make it work. The Dirty Dogs lasted longer than I actually thought was going to last.
Yeah, and they actually had some good rivalries down the line too.
Yeah. I mean, they put over the Mysterios for them to be the first father-son team.
Right.
Bobby Roode has always been one of those guys that you can compare him to Triple H as a solid worker.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of injuries and tend to kept him out of the ring, but at the same time, that opened the door to other things. So congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of OnlyFans that we spoke about earlier, did you see that John Cena's a thought now? He's going to be having his own OnlyFans as well.
I'm sorry.
He's going to be a hose bag now. He's going to have his own OnlyFans.
That was not the John Cena news I was expecting to hear from, because he was on Howard Stern this week.
I'll get to that in a second. But he disclosed him opening up an OnlyFans, but it's basically a tie-in to his upcoming movie, Ricky Stenicki, where he plays an actor and such. So with that's just basically just advertisements for the upcoming movie. But mentioning the Howard Stern interview that he had, which, me being a former Stern fan and seeing Cena there, like at this time right now, and just hearing how Howard.
How much has changed over the years?
Well, not only that, I get it, and shout out to my peoples at quite frankly the Howard Stern podcast, which I work alongside. Shout out to Phil Moore and the crew over there, Sam. They, I'm their of course I'm their wrestling guy, but I'm also their Howard Stern historian because I go as far back as the late 80s, early 90s when it comes to references and stuff. And just to hear Howard talk to Cena like he knows what the fuck is going on, like really fucking pisses me off because he's never been in the business. He never liked wrestling. He hated when the wrestlers would go on. It was always a connection between Russo and Sean Oliver, who would bring in wrestlers and such. He was always responsible for bringing Shiki, baby. So I hearing him talk to Cena about him and Rock having legitimate beef and the allegations was it turns my stomach. But in any case,
it just shows you how far Howard Stern gone on John Cena's wiki and just see how far he went down the rabbit hole.
I was asking because I'm part of the quite frankly group, and I asked the people in the group. I say, for you guys are listening, who's the resident wrestling fan now? I said, I know. Richard, he would watch it casually. He knows certain wrestlers, and the only one that I knew was Shuli, and Shuli's not even there anymore. So that's other than I said, who the fuck is really giving him information now? Who's doing the research? But in any case, the discussion was about the allegations, and just to paraphrase, he danced around it for a second, and in hindsight, he's basically saying that Vince is still his friend. He's not going to move away from him as a friend. And he still, I guess he checks in on him, but what the allegations are, it's horrible and such. But I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. But in any sense, it wasn't as though like he was.
People made that to seem like he said like boo the victims. Like I'm all for my friend.
No.
I'm just saying that's how most people interpret it.
Yeah,
because what Cena was saying in what I read it as, how I looked at it as, it was more of like he's appreciative of what Vince has done over the years, and for a lot of other people, like Randy Orton said too, it's very hard and very sickening to read all this stuff about a man that signed your paychecks and thinking like, oh, like that's what he did in his spare time, and it's like almost like denial of like, I don't want to believe this is true, but unfortunately, this situation is not going away. And unfortunately, I mean, in some cases, he might be, I guess, like a material witness or whatever to give a sting on Vince McMahon. But this whole thing with him going on Howard Stern, I think the way he phrases things too, he's not like The Rock, who's like very diplomatic in his answers. He was very outright saying like, I'm Vince McMahon's best friend type of thing, which when people just said okay, yeah, but once he like sort of said that, that's when everybody said done. Fuck John Cena. I
mean, listen, it's the same thing that people were giving shit to Triple H about, that he avoided the conversation and such, and fine. And once again, it's too close. But can you imagine if the shit flies and Cena gets some stink on him as well over this shit of
right?
Pun intended. I mean, this is crazy. Like,
yeah,
but
aside from Cena, WWE needs to hire, like, all these wrestling companies need to hire very smart PR team, because not for nothing, when that press conference happened, what they should have done, this is for WWE and AEW, tell these motherfuckers, listen, you can ask this, or this. Don't ask about anything else. If you ask about anything else, gone. That's it.
Well, listen, as journalists, you can't
because enough of this nonsense.
You can't even do that. You can't even do that because that's censorship, and that's not what we're about. It's not about that. It's just knowing how to answer it. It's being,
I guess, yeah.
Answering the question without answering the question. That's what it really is about.
Right. And it's all on phrasing too.
Yeah. Did you hear that pirates were involved? Oi, matey! Involved in the possibility of the Elimination Chamber itself not being able to make it to Perth. Seems as though that there were some those of the of the mean and dastardly persuasions on the ire. They were possibly involved in blocking or even being able to take hold of the Elimination Chamber. WWE had to reroute the chamber and have it go through California and then have it go, straight to Australia. It was crazy.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the headlines, Pirates steal Elimination Chamber, I just pictured a pirate ship with the Elimination Chamber structure on it, just sailing.
I just was thinking it's like that movie with Tom Hanks, and it's like, your Elimination Chamber is my Elimination Chamber now. It's like, I was just looking at that, like, the hell? But yeah,
I mean, what the fuck were they going to do with the Elimination Chamber structure? I mean, you could tear it apart and sell it for shit, but...
Yeah, you can sell that shit for scraps.
Yeah.
So, this past week, as early as last night, we saw a couple of championships basically be changed over within different companies. First off, 2 titles were handed over in New Japan. We saw Nick Nemeth win the I believe it's the New Japan Global Championship, I believe. And,
correct.
And we also had Matt Riddle winning their World TV title. That belt is hideous. And
now he's gonna hold it over his head, I'm trying to say, like, the belt's gonna be like over his shoulder,
right.
I mean, aside from the Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, whatever you want to call him, I figured Riddle was gonna beat Tanahashi. It's just that when you look at New Japan booking, I know, Jay, you don't follow it like week by week,
right.
But when you read some of these results from these shows, where one championship changes at one hand and then a week later it changes again to a different person, I just scratched my head. Like, what are you doing? Like, David Finlay just won this thing January 1st or 4th, like the beginning of January. And like a month later, he loses it. He loses the belt to the ex-WWE guy. Like, I get it. You want to get publicity on the other two, but when you're New Japan Pro Wrestling, your big star is leaving. 2 of them, actually. You need to, and you are trying to build up your young lions as fast as you goddamn can. And you're using whatever you have at your disposal. And David Finlay has been there from the dojo days, and he's been busting his ass. And regardless of how anybody feels about the new Bullet Club, the Bullet Club War Dogs, David Finlay busts his ass like week after week on them. He's like the bootleg Jay White, but you know what? He's trying.
No,
it feels like just another guy at this point.
Well, but this is what's happened. This is what happens when you got the new Gaijin who's coming in, and you want to shake it up a little bit. As we're looking at right now with Mustafa Ali, No Surrender, highlights of his match with Saban for the X Division title.
Hopefully he sticks around.
It's still. This is what happens when new releases occur in wrestling, that they are going to give them titles. Which, by the way, not for nothing, I'm looking at Mustafa Ali right now. He's giving me a lot of Eddie Guerrero vibes for like body wise and such. Not a bad
like WCW Eddie.
No, I'm talking about like WWE when Eddie was starting to get bigger, like when he got
scary big.
Yeah, like
his back expanded.
Yeah, he's starting to give me that vibe. He's getting up there little by little, even wrestling wise. But in any case, I'm looking at wrestling groups, and I'm looking at the comments that are made, and the fan base is just like, oh, finally he gets the title he deserves, blah, 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 because, they didn't really do much with him and blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about, all the wrestlers who's won titles so far. And I go, do you guys not look at what wrestling is about, what the business is like? When a new talent especially from WWE comes into another promotion, they're going to give them the title because that brings eyes on the product. It's
Fair enough. That's
it
fine.
doesn't. Look at as soon as Monet got into fucking New Japan and Stardom and all that, bam, they gave her the fucking title. Kyrie didn't have that belt not long either, and they gave her the belt.
Yeah.
So that's just part of the business. That's what happens in wrestling. It's
I understand, but it's just when it comes to New Japan, where it's just like it's like stop like for me, it's kind of like just like stop doing the repeat stuff, and at the end of the day, it's all about clicks. Because when it comes to New Japan, there's really not much news over here in the States about them. It's aside from when Ospreay left and Okada is on his way over here now.
Right.
So they need to get some buzz by saying, "Hey, look, your American Star just won our new title." And I mean, at the end of the day, I can hopefully and imagine they have a bigger picture. Like Zack Sabre Jr. is hoping to go for the world title,
right?
So it's just,
well, I mean,
it's a wait and see approach with them.
But it's the same thing. It's the same thing when going into the land of WWE as well. Nakamura left Japan, went to WWE, went to NXT, got himself the championship there. Like it's just the nature of the business that occurs, that this happens. This person was so underappreciated. I'm glad that they got their title. It's like, no, they didn't just get their title. It's a promotion. It's advertisement. That's why the person got it. There's nothing more, nothing less from it. I am happy to see that Nick Nemeth is a guy that's finding a new ground for himself to run on in the business. I still think that he had a lot to offer for the gig. He was one of the longest tenured wrestlers in the company, alongside like R-Truth and shit. So it's great to see that he's now found his way in other places, and it's cool.
I do recommend for people to go watch his promo too.
Right. Especially when they do the press conferences, that's made for him.
Yes.
Yeah, that platform is made for him. Matt Riddle, like I said, Matt Riddle, I could take it or leave it. It's he never really grew on me as a lot of, and I know a lot of you guys out there like Riddle and such, but it was never really a thing for me. It was okay, but
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Riddle anymore. It's like a love-hate relationship. I see why they're going to push him, but it's also like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know. I really don't know how to explain it.
And as for Mustafa,
I just figured he was going to win the belt, but Ali winning the X Division title, that was probably the smart decision for TNA.
Big move for them, and I will not be surprised to see Ali winning other indie promotion titles across the board, because once again, more eyes on the product. So
yeah,
I would not be surprised if he's the next House of Glory champion.
Or the Crown Jewel, or the 6-way,
yeah, something.
Or the cruise. Well, he'll definitely be the cruiserweight champion.
I could see him with the Crown Jewel as well. That I could see, but
not for nothing. We're seeing Ali next weekend.
Yes, we are. We'll be at House of Glory next week, guys. Call my Missouri next Saturday. You guys don't want to miss it. Bell time is at 6:00. I just realized it's that early. I said, shit. I got to make sure I get rested up and be able to run out that door to get there. I got to remember, it's 6:00. 6:00. So bell time's at 6:00. Those open, I believe, at 4:30 or 3:00. No, 4:30, because they're doing
4 because Danhausen's doing
right at 4. They're doing meet and greet. Danhausen will be in the building, as well as Mustafa Ali, Santana. Who else am I missing? That's going to be there.
Lance and Hawaii.
Right, Lance will be there, and then there's a singles match between Midas Black and Charles Mason, which I'm kind of interested in. I want to see how that goes.
Mustafa Ali is going to take on Alex Shelley. Alex Shelley's going to look for revenge for his brother losing the X Division title. Mike Santana is going to defend against Pentagon Jr.
Penta El Cielo Miedo Cielo. Him.
Fuck it. He's still Pentagon Jr.
Exactly. And much more, guys. So tickets are still available at HOGWrestling.net. Check those guys out to get tickets available in Queens, New York next Saturday. Damn, I said shit. We got a lot of wrestling on the card. I'm recuperating from VxS, and now next week is another show. Like, God,
This week, if you just open your DM, I didn't realize it until it was like, wait, that was also this week too. So
yeah, so got much to talk about as well. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be doing Elimination Chamber results and our thoughts about that as well. And for those who are watching on the YouTube and such, I only give you a portion of the podcast. You only get a segment at a time from the podcast each episode. If you want to hear the rest of our commentary and such, make sure you subscribe, download, and be a part of the vibe of Turnbuckle Tabloid on all the podcasting platforms that's available. We're everywhere. So guys, make sure you just check us out on those outlets as well. Growing fan base, slowly but surely, we're getting that reach, and want to thank everybody who's been partaking and been able to spread the word about Turnbuckle Tabloid for so many years. We're approaching 7 years in the book.
Wow,
7 years come next month. God, I'm getting old. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about. See you guys in a second.
What's goody? I go by the name Mark Baze. That's MARC-BAZE, and you are now listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid. Yeah.
For the night, I'll be me. Go tell the world what you about to see.
I thought I'll get you in a little bit more comfortable playing a little hip hop music in the background and such like that, since that being your love these past couple of years, right, Leo?
Hey, no, sir.
I have to say that when I was doing research on you and such like that, I was trying to figure out, what was your first love, music or wrestling?
Definitely wrestling. Yeah, music. I never thought I would be here. I was always surrounded by music my entire life, but I never thought that I would be here. So it's pretty cool to see how powerful of a love and passion that I have for music now.
But with wrestling, like it seemed like you took such great strides, and you was able to accomplish a lot of stuff, even if with your, sorry to say, but you kind of short in the game, bro. Kind of short up. Was it difficult to break into wrestling as opposed to trying to break into music?
I don't think so, because I mean, when I first started out wrestling, when I was 18 years old, I was just coming out of high school. I just had my son. I was a different animal back then. Like, my determination, my will to just succeed and just change my situation in general was so powerful. So I felt like there wasn't a task in front of me that I felt like I couldn't overcome. You know what I mean? I felt unstoppable. So yeah.
Was with your early days with wrestling, did you feel as though like you maybe couldn't be able to get into that same mode? Like, what was like the toughest obstacles to get to, like, taking the bumps, hitting the ropes? Like, what was the earliest things that was pretty tough to start breaking into in the business?
The thing that was most tough for me was being patient, honestly. I felt like I've been an athlete my entire life. I started out when I was 5 years old, playing on team sports. Probably less than that, maybe like 4 years old, playing team sports. I mean, I started out on T-ball, coach for baseball, and I played every sport since. So by the time I got to, I'm walking into professional wrestling, a pretty well-rounded athlete and all, the thing that was the hardest for me was being patient. I felt like I always wanted to move a lot faster in the game than, I was probably ready for, from a business standpoint. But yeah, physically, I felt like I had it all down packed. I picked up things pretty quickly. But yeah, it was just it was just being a 18-year-old kid that wanted the world.
I'm I'm going to pretty much assume that since you started in T-ball, that you didn't start your career as a pitcher.
Oh no! And then when I started being a pitcher, my I had to switch positions. Yeah, I just felt like I was always moving around. I was always wanting to play the field, and yeah.
So pretty much you had all that pent up energy. They had to get you out there, get you out in the field, get you out there playing sports and all that. What other sports were you attracted to as well when you were coming up?
Well, yeah, I was heavy in baseball. Like I said, I was real heavy in baseball. I played football up until high school because I started to run into winter season with wrestling. So I was super focused on wrestling. I amateur wrestled. Basketball that stopped in high school because of the size. Yeah, and I've tried some other sports. Like I tried to swim. I did track and field. Yeah. I was an athletic dude back then.
But now you got that feet wet. You got into that ring, the square circle, and all of a sudden it just, like you said, things started coming naturally. And sure enough, man, you'll be coming to New York City, baby, with VxS Arrival coming on Friday, February 23rd. Ah, man, there's gonna be a pack. Now I can't wait. I'm mad hype for this, man. You and the crew are gonna be in the building. It's gonna be lit. I'm happy for them, man. I've been watching you guys since the ground floor, man. VxS is they've been trying to be innovative and making some moves. It's something to be said that for it pretty much fits the tone of you and the promotion as well. You guys are young. You guys are inspiring. You guys are innovative. What was it that drew your attention to VxS in the early days?
I think just what you said, like being young, being innovative, being fresh. People like the underdog. People like the underdog. People like the people that are wanting to accomplish greatness in the world. So I feel like that's what VxS is all about. I feel like this event, Arrival, this show, this epic show that's stacked. It's all guys that's traveling the globe. Showcasing why they're the best young wrestlers in the game today. So yeah, it's appropriate that I'm on this show. It's definitely appropriate that we're touching back in New York City, which is a place that I feel like I grew up in wrestling in New York. I grew up around the area in New Jersey and Philly and being around those tough crowds and being in that cold weather and being hungry and starving and wanting to work. So yeah, it feels like I'm coming home, and that's the tour that I'm on right now, the Where's Home World Tour. So we're making a stop in New York City.
Speaking of which, put this as your greatest achievements in order: winning your first title, Parenthood, and releasing your first album.
Man, I gotta put Parenthood first.
That's a layup, right? That's pretty much a layup. That's automatic, right?
That changed me for real. Yeah, I love my boys. I love being a father. I love being a dad. You know what I mean? That's family. That's what I'm about. I think making it to WWE, I put that up there for number 2, just because that was my childhood dream. I always wanted to be in WWE. I set my sights on that goal and I chased it down, and thank God I made it there at the age of 22 years old, which I'm still. That's amazing, especially around that time, me being African American talent, me being young, and me not, growing up in the business, first generation. So I laid down the groundwork. Hopefully one day, who knows? Maybe I just watched that movie the other day, the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think about, my boy. I'm like, man, I got 3 boys. That's and they seeing me do what I'm doing, and I've laid that groundwork down. So we'll see, man. It's but I'd say just continuing on with wrestling and wanting to still be hungry and still showcase what I'm about. I definitely think winning the X Division title was pretty cool. I really enjoyed my time in Impact Wrestling. That was pretty big for me. Something that I never thought that I'd be able to do. That's a straight up nostalgia moment for me. And then making it to Japan, wrestling in Japan, back and forth, 5 tours, being able to win, the Super Junior Tag League tournament, being able to wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom. I've been able to do some pretty cool things that I'm proud of.
Yeah, it's it seems like a big, like, everything seemed like you hit the fast lane. Everything was running before we heard of Lio Rush and the indies. He was getting a lot of backing from the fan base. The buzz was hitting with the socials. The Dirts were really riding the vibe. And then all of a sudden, boom, you put out and you like you said, you're getting, calls and you're debuting in all these, top tier promotions and such like that. Was it, real, was it like really life hitting you so fast, especially like you mentioned, you're a young father and such like that. And now you're going to be on the road and you're getting hit with different, sides of fandom and such and notoriety. What was it like having to go through those motions during that time period, especially you becoming a new father and such?
So I'll tell you this. This is my 10th year wrestling. I believe the last time I was in WWE was about 5 years ago. Or 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I'm just now processing it. You know what I mean? I'm just now realizing all of the things that I've done, places that I've been, things that I've gone through. I'm just now being able to process it. Things have been moving so quickly for me. Every time I see videos of myself, on WWE, I think back and I'm like, man, did I really do this? This wasn't a dream. It feels so long ago. And me starting out wrestling felt so long ago. When I was on the indie scene and trying to make a name for myself, I was the youngest in the room, in all the rooms. And now, 10 years later, I'm walking in, locker rooms, and now I'm seeing so many young guys in the locker room. Back then I was the only young guy in the locker room, but now you got full rosters, you got full shows with young guys who are absolutely killing it. Not even just in their own promotion, but like I said, like on the globe. I mean, these guys are traveling the world, and they look up to me. They're telling me, hey, I was watching you in WWE when I was in a freshman in high school, and that's so crazy to hear. It's really cool. I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's crazy. 10 years seems like it's just yesterday. Like it seems like it's so fast how that happens. Like 1 minute you're sharing a locker room with 6 other people who are doing hot dogs and handshakes, and the next minute you're in backstage with legends and people who broke into the business. I could say this with VxS as well, and I'm looking at it. The Arrival this upcoming Friday the 23rd, guys, at Queens Elks Lodge. Big tickets are still available. You get it at thewrestlinguniverse.com. Bell time is at 8 p.m. Tickets are still available, guys, but you guys don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, it's going to be popping. I'm telling you, I can't wait to walk up in there and get crazy with it. But mentioning that, with VxS, you're like I mentioned before, you guys all came up together. Guys like Daniel Garcia passed through there, Marsha Slamovich, and now you're the vet. Now you're the elder statesman. How is it now that you talk to this young crew coming in, the men and women who are walking the same path that Lio Rush walked in 10 years ago?
I like I said, I'm grateful for it. It's not a position that I ever saw myself in. I don't know why. I never thought about, being the veteran in the room, but still being so young. I feel like that's the part that trips me out sometimes. Because sometimes I'll have guys that are older than me asking me for advice, and I'm a pretty uh, yeah, it's a scary thing, because I know what worked for me. I know, the path that I took. I know the sacrifices that I made, not even for myself, but for, my family. So I always get a little nervous when somebody looks up to me in that way, and if it's right there face to face, and they want to follow in my footsteps, they want to do what I did, they want to, you know what I mean? So I just want to I think overall, I just want to be a positive light for everybody. I feel like the most powerful thing you can do is just be yourself in front of the people who look up to you. And, if they grab certain things from you that are helpful in their journey or in their life or, in their personality, whatever the case may be, like that's it's just a blessing. So, yeah, I'm ready to walk in to a rival. I'm ready to main event that show. I'm ready to, be the veteran that people, see me as. And put on a show like only I know how. So
I'm interested because I say you're a fairly young man and you have 3 young boys and such, and I've been seeing you constantly just hitting the ground running, and I'll click on one site here and you're showing up on a show here. You're in the West Coast here, you're in the Northwest on this side. You're hitting Cali. Where do you find the time to like take a break? Like, what are we doing like to chill out? We putting the headphones on, we watching anime. Like, what is it that we doing to chill out? Cause you everywhere, fam.
Yeah. I mean, I've come to, I love traveling, man. I love seeing, I think being able to travel the world at such a young age, it's just become who I am. I like being in new places. I like trying new food. I like being around different cultures. I grew up with both of my parents being entrepreneurs. So I feel like the hustle is just a part of me. I never mind it. Sometimes it don't feel like work because, I love, as soon as I get off an interview with you, I'm heading over to go make a video with a production team with a rundown that I, scripted out last night. I'm in the studio right now because, this is where I was last night, putting in work. But, I this is what I love doing. This is who I am. So it all, yeah, it feels like I'm always moving around, but at the same time, I'm happy. I'm happy, doing the things that elevate me and my career and inspire people and be able to provide for my family. So as long as I can do all of those things, then we good.
The hustle is real, bro. You're in the studio, like the hustle is still it's still in there. That passion won't let you go. Yeah. When your album came out, I found it very interesting that you did like a great storytelling with it as well. Like every track, had the same feeling and story behind it. It was dealing with wrestling. You had a friend of the show. You had a boy Larry Legend on it as well. It was a great meshing of you and just your upcoming in the business and as well with music. Any sneak peeks of what we grinding on with the next project with you in the studio?
Man, I'm working on a couple different things right now. And it all doesn't have to do with music.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got a new single out right now. It's called The Rub. I'm pretty heavy on that right now. I'm pushing that. I'm trying to get the word out for that. So that's one of those tracks. If you like wrestling, if you like music, if you like hip hop, that's the track for you. It's a bunch of wrestling references in there that a lot of people are gonna like. Music videos out right now too. So yeah, The Rub is out. I'm always working. I'm always recording. I'm always getting projects together for the future, or just putting stuff in the vault. But yeah, I got some heat coming this year. This year, yeah, this is the year for sure.
Is it shocking for you to run into these rappers now that everybody in the hip hop and they come to you and you realize that they're big wrestling fans, like nowadays that they're using it as punchlines and ad libs and such, like in battle rap and even in the mainstream rap these days. Is it cool when when you hear this or people approach you and you probably even in somebody's bars?
Yeah, no, I mean, I always enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. I think the cultures are very similar. The tone of both worlds are very similar, and I feel like that's why we like each other so much. Every time, moving out to LA 4 years ago and being out here kind of just opened me up to a whole new world, put me in rooms that I never thought that I'd be in. And just showing that celebrities are people, and people have interests, and musicians and rappers, they love wrestling. So every time they get a chance to meet a wrestler, they seen that wrestler on TV, and we got a common ground where I like their music. I grew up watching their music. It's always like a cool experience, and yeah, I think we're just getting started with the music, rap, hip hop, wrestling relationship that's still growing. I think there's so much more to be explored and so much more to be experienced with those two worlds colliding.
Yeah, it was always early on in the days, especially my days of Europe, because I am much of an elder statesman and when it comes to the history of wrestling, that it was always that rock and wrestling connection, and then nowadays it seems as though how hip hop has now become the norm in the business as well, and as well with the VxS, with the arrival this upcoming Friday, the 23rd at Queens, New York, at Queens Elks Lodge, guys. Front row and second rows are sold out, so pretty much all other tickets are available. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. Lio Rush is facing Ares. This is going to be a match to you're going to put your cameras out and want to take pictures and videos of this, man. You're excited for this one, especially what's at stake here, man. This is something that's gonna be big. Like you said, you're an East Coast dude. Gotta put your thumbprint on this one. We ready to rip for this one?
Yeah, man. I saw RS in the airport the other day. He had to bump shoulders with me.
Oh,
it's going down. I'm telling you, this is gonna be one of the matches that people are gonna be talking about for a long time, especially in the New York area. So if you around, if you've never seen Lio Rush live, if you've never been to a VxS event, if you've never experienced wrestling in general, you want to come to this show, because this one is going to be special. It's going to be a lot of big names in the building, including myself. And like I said, I'm going to put on a show like only I know how. The man of the hour, the bad child, the piece of gold. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I'm telling you, this is I'm. When I heard the announcement of this was going down, especially what's at stake, because to me, I've heard some stuff. I heard some shit going down, and VxS might be debuting a title along the way, and I'm hoping to see that maybe you might be involved in that.
Yes. Hey, well, you see the purple lights behind me. Hey. Yeah, this might be right place, right time.
This we might be getting like little breadcrumbs showing us, leading us the way to somewhere to morph.
Yes, sir.
But I'm not gonna hold you up for too long, man. But I just want to give you a couple of more questions out here and let it be known that you showing back up at VxS is it's inspirational for everybody else to know that New York is back. New York City's back on the scene. You being an East Coast dude as well, knowing that this is important to us as well. Any matches down the line, indies, mainstream wrestling and such that you're looking forward to? Any dream matches that you see that could be forthcoming in the next year or so?
Man, within the next year, it's like, what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks? What's going to happen tomorrow? I feel like wrestling is such a crazy time right now. Feels like anything is possible. I'm just looking forward to the possibilities, to the things that people never thought would be possible. I'm looking to showing up to places I've never been. I'm looking forward to returning to some places that I haven't been to in a very long time. But like I said, we're on the Where's Home World Tour right now. I'm going to be hitting Queens. And then shortly after that, I'm heading up to Maine. I'm heading up to Worcester, Massachusetts. And then we're going off to the UK and Europe for about a month. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a lot of countries over there that I'm tapping into. Romania, South Wales, London, Germany, Ireland, France. So I'm going all over the place, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, shit, the Moth ain't playing no games, fam. That passport gonna be hit. That stamp is gonna be hit a couple of times on there, man. But I do have to ask, with changes that's been occurring, especially with the promotion that you mentioned earlier, that seems as though they've been seeing some big changes happening in the past couple of years or so. If the Yankees call again, will you be answering that phone call?
I mean, I ain't got nobody blocked, so I'm gonna be right here. I always got my phone on me.
Just saying, because I know a lot of people said, it was good that he made it up there, but we just saw just a piece of what Lio Rush was able to do. Just a snippet. Maybe we could see something else forthcoming. But in any case, with any company, man, anybody who brings in a Lio Rush, it looks like you have the wrestling world in your hands, man. And what I admire is that you're able to spread out and take your business the way it is, as the people say, stand on business. And you've been able to open it up to going from one promotion to another, free form, and been able to do that, man. And it's a pleasure that you've been able to share your wrestling talents to the fan base, man. I greatly appreciate the time, man. I know you're heavily busy, man, and I just want to let everybody know that Lio Rush, once again, with VxS Arrival this Friday, February 23rd, Queens, New York, at Queens Elks Lodge, 8 p.m. bell time. Doors open at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets at thewrestlinguniverse.com. Front row, second row already sold out, so get your GAs and all other seating available, man. Lio, thanks again for your time, man. Don't hang up yet, but I just want to be clear. Let everybody know where your socials at and where everybody can hit you up at.
Definitely. If you want to follow my journey, follow everything that I'm doing right now, keep up to date with what I'm doing with my music, with everything. Follow me on all of my social medias at I am Lio Rush. That's on X, that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok, that's on YouTube. So I am Lio Rush. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Like I said, don't hang up yet, and I'm just gonna close it out here, guys. Thanks again for checking in. It was a big moment for here at Turnbuckle Tabloid, and don't miss out with VxS coming this Friday, 8 p.m. Guys, don't want to miss it. And as always, check you guys in a sec.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.